You all know our featured guest as Eli Hawk Moskowitz, kicking butt and taking names in the Netflix smash hit Cobra Kai. He's Jacob Bertrand, a California kid who grew up acting and making a name for himself in productions for Nickelodeon and Disney like Kirby Buckets, Marvin, and iCarly, as well as guest starring roles in series like Parks and Recreation, Community, and The Cape. He's also lent his voice to many memorable characters over the years on Paranorman, Rise of the Guardians, and The Legend of Korra. This month, I had an absolute blast getting to know this rising star as we dug deep into the making of Cobra Kai. That epic mohawk, the fight scenes in karate, and working with Ralph Macchio, William Zabka, and Martin Kove, and as much as he can share on the upcoming Season 5. Plus, things you may or may not know about Jacob, his family, his music, charity work, and aspirations. Let's check in with Jacob now and see what he had to say. Well, as we get ready to wax on, wax off, and brush up on our karate skills, we couldn't be more excited to be joined by the All-Valley champion, star of Cobra Kai, Jacob Bertrand. Jacob, welcome to Everything Zen.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh, wow, that is a very aptly named thing for this, considering I'm on Miyagi-Do now.
Yes, keep it all Zen. Now, we know you're a cool California kid. You're surrounded by the glamour of Hollywood and the film business, and you started at such a young age. Did you know you wanted to be an actor, or is it something that all the kids in Southern California do for fun?
Well, I did always want to try acting. My older sister was actually the person that was sort of pushing my parents to, let her try acting. And, my family doesn't really have any ties to the industry in any way, so didn't really know how. So my mom just sent Christmas cards of me, my older sister, and my younger brother to a lot of agents that were in LA. And a couple got back to us, and then one was like, "Oh, we'll take on all three of your kids." So that's kind of how it started. And when I first started acting, I absolutely loved it because it was a great way to get out of school, because I just really did not like school. So it was like, hey, go to Audition, that. Cut school for a couple hours. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is great. But then I really ended up falling in love with it and wanted to continue it, throughout high school and after high school.
So much has been written about child actors going wild and having issues later in their lives. How did you manage to stay grounded, and how critical has your family been in your career?
My family has been a huge part of my career. I think a huge reason for, I think having just me, speaking for me personally, like having my head screwed on decently straight, is just I have really, really great parents. I'm really tight with my mom and my dad, and my mom would take me to set almost every day. And sometimes my grandmother, who I call my nanny would take me to set too. And, I went to a public school, so I was surrounded by, my same friends since kindergarten. And I think if I ever really got too big or like thought I was all that, I think they'd be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're not hot shit.
Bring you down to reality.
100%. So I'm very grateful to, my family and the friends that I've gotten to keep around for a really long time. And I definitely think that's a huge reason of, maybe why I haven't, gone completely nuts.
Well, if I was a young actor, Cobra Kai would be my dream gig. You get to act. It seems like you're having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. You get to punch people in the face and get paid for it. Yeah.
What was your audition process like for Cobra Kai? And did you audition for Eli/Hawk straight away, or were you auditioning for any character?
So when I first auditioned for Cobra Kai, I first auditioned for the Dimitri role, which was then called Tanzit. That was the name of the character back then. And I remember loving that character. I was like, this character is hilarious. This is so much fun. And most of the stuff that I've done like before Cobra Kai has all been comedy. I did very, very little drama. So I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is a great role. So I did the audition. I can't remember if I did a callback or not, but I remember it went really well. And they're like, oh, casting loved you. This is great. And then I got an email from my agent saying that, hey, they loved your read for Tanzit, but they want you to audition for a different role. And so usually what that means is like, you did great, but not good enough. Here's like a smaller role that we think you would be good in. And the role that I was going out for was Eli. And Eli was in the, audition sides for Tansit. And he had like 2 lines and like didn't say anything, And I was like, oh man, like, gosh dang it. I was like, you know what? Like Cobra Kai is a pretty cool project. I'd be down to just be a part of it. And I was like, hey, I've never been to Atlanta before. It films in Atlanta. This is a cool opportunity. So I hear it's a producer session. So my first audition as Eli is a producer session. So I go in and John Hurwitz, who's one of the big 3, one of the creators, is in the room. And I start reading the sides of, Eli, my, 1 to 2 lines. And they start looking around at each other like, oh, whoa, like this is, you have the wrong script. Like this is not the sides that we wanted you to read. So they handed me some new audition scenes and they sent me outside. There's like a couple other kids auditioning for Eli. And I read it for, maybe 5-10 minutes, go back in, I'm decently nervous. So I'm like, you know what? I got this. I can memorize decently fast. Go in, do the audition, felt like I did really good. And that's one of the only times I've walked out of an audition room thinking like, damn, I genuinely think I booked that. I think I did pretty good in that.
Wow.
And then I got a call 3 hours later that I booked the role. And I think this was on a Thursday. And that Monday I filmed. So it was like a very, very fast turnaround.
Yeah. And you had to grow that mohawk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily my hair was like decently long. Like my mohawk in season 1 has like a tiny little spine in the middle of it that is a little extension. Like the black tips that you see is like a black spine that goes in the middle, but all the rest of my hair that's all my real hair.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Were you familiar with the original trilogy of films and karate and kung fu films in general?
I'd say like karate films in general, not so much. Like I'd seen, some of the Rush Hours and what is that one? Like Shanghai, which one was Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan?
Yeah, that's right.
Shanghai Noon. Is that what it's called? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'd seen like those. And then I had also seen the Karate Kid movies. My dad was a big fan. He grew up, he was born in 1970s. He was like 14 when the, Karate Kid movies came out. So he was like, the prime age for that. So when I was 13, my dad was like, before you become a man, here's a list of movies you have to watch. And the Karate Kid movies were part of that. And my brother watched them with us. And we actually started taking karate right after we watched those movies because we started wrestling and fighting so much. My mom was like, I can't handle this. Like, they need to have like a set hour where they're like getting all this energy out. But you know what? I didn't really remember a lot of it for the show. Like, I think I remembered like High Block and like that was one of the only things. So we definitely had to train a lot to get me to where I could be like fight ready on the show. Yeah, I was definitely new of the movies and very much loved them.
Well, good for your dad. Your dad's probably pretty excited you're in this.
Oh my God, yeah. I remember I was kind of bummed because I didn't know I had to have a mohawk when I first auditioned for the role. I found it out once I booked it, and I was really bummed because I was like, "What? I love my hair. Like, I don't want to cut my hair. Like, I grew this myself. Like, this is my pride and joy." And my dad, he works in the medical field, and he's like, "Dude, I would love to have a mohawk at my job, but I physically cannot. They won't let me. Please, you have to do this." And I was like, "You're right. Like, what other job would I ever have that I could like get to have a mohawk?" So he definitely put it in like a good perspective for me,
That's great. If you talk to any actor, they'll almost always say playing a villain is much more fun than the hero. But redemption is a very powerful force. And your character's 180 has been one of the most rewarding, I think, for fans who grew to dislike Hawk and really love Eli. How has the change been for you, Mohawk to no Mohawk?
I definitely agree with playing the villain is so much more fun than the hero. Just like being bad is just fun, you know what I mean? I will say this, when the writers first told me like, hey, you're going to break Dimitri's arm and then you're going to, put Brooks in a coma and, beat him into a pulp on the mat and then you're going to flip sides. I was like, what? Like, I don't know if I buy this. Like, he's already so deep in the hole. Like, how could he get out? Just like mentally, like, how would they accept him on the other side, you know? So I like pushed back a little bit. Also because, you know, I like playing the villain. But thank God, you know, they took to what I said to heart. And they definitely wrote like some problems for me, you know, coming back into Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do. But thank God they didn't listen to me fully, because, you know, that redemption arc and that turn is like the number one thing people come up to me and are like, I love when that happened. Like, I just stood up and was cheering, you know. And watching it now, like, it 100% works. But yeah, I was definitely nervous to like see if people bought it or not. And when season 3 was airing, like it was in the process of coming out, and like in between season 2 and season 3, when I would get recognized on the street and people come up to me, they'd be like, wow, I hate you. You're the worst. You are the worst. Like, you are a dick. I really hate you. And I was like, yeah, I know my character can be pretty evil, but it's been fun having, I mean, they give me an arc almost every season. So I'm super grateful for it. And, you know, even in season 4, I got to have, you know, a great arc, and it's been fun. You know, I've gotten to explore a lot of different aspects of this character. And, you know, as an actor, you know, coming off of Disney, you know, where sometimes your characters might not get like a very specific arc. It's been just a total blast. You know, I couldn't ask for more. I get to do comedy, get to do drama, get to do action. Like, it's a dream role, you know?
And you get to work with this amazing cast. I mean, especially the young cast. I just absolutely love the camaraderie. Seems so natural. You almost get the sense that you're friends in real life. I mean, do you spend time offset together?
Oh yeah, we spend a ton of time offset together. Whenever we're filming, Sholo and I are actually roommates with Josa, who plays Kyler. The three of us are roommates. Gianni DiCenzo, who plays Dimitri, is over all the time. But yeah, all of us are really, really tight. We all train together. We usually all eat dinner together. Peyton will join us for dinner all the time. We'll work out with Tanner. Yeah, no, it's a total blast. Like, all of us really are a super tight-knit group. I mean, me and Sholo even have a podcast together, Lone Lobos. You should check it out. It's very fun. We talk about Cobra Kai, and just like, it was going to be called Shooting the Shit, and that was a very apropos name, but we weren't allowed to call it Shooting the Shit because, you know, curse words. So it's called Lone Lobos now.
What's it like working with Ralph and William and Martin? And apart from karate, have they imparted any wisdom that has helped you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd say the first 3 seasons, I didn't get to film with Ralph at all. It wasn't until the 4th season that I really got to get to know him. And one of my only interactions with him before that was they made a Cobra Kai DVD for seasons 1 and 2. And there was like a behind the scenes extras. And I got asked this question of, you know, what's it like to work with Ralph Macchio? And I was just kind of joking around. I was like, oh, he's the best guy ever. He's such a sweetheart. You know, for my 16th birthday, he actually gave me his Miyagi-Do truck, which is, you know, just so nice of him. Like, what a great guy. Like, he did not do that. Like, I was totally just trying to get him to give me the truck. And he saw that and thought it was funny. So he was like, oh, you're a jokester, huh? So when we started filming together in season 4, he just loved messing with me and joking around with me. And he's a great guy. Billy and Marty are sick. Like, I got to film with them. I think some of the most fun I've had acting was, you know, some of my one-on-one scenes with Marty. He's just like, when he settles down into character, into Kreese, like, he just really is Kreese, you know? And then one thing I really learned from Billy, I mean, aside from him actually giving us like martial arts advice, because he's a legit like martial arts practitioner, he's like, his acting style is like very much like movement driven, you know, like everything has to do with movement. And, you know, I think a lot of people will do scenes and they'll mess up or whatever, and they'll just like take it just right from where they are and like, you know, just blurt out whatever lines they have. But, you know, Billy has a very big emphasis on like, no, like, it needs to move with this. And I don't know, just like, it was interesting to see, like, I've never seen someone have movement play so much into like how they are as a character, and just like body language and body posture. Like, he really embodies Johnny when he does that. So that was actually
like
cool.
The Miyagi-Do of acting.
No, yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see that like play out in real time. Like, I've heard about that before, but he like really like does that.
I've seen some posts on social of you demonstrating some karate moves. And on the show, There's some serious action sequences, from the high school brawl to the battle at the LaRusso's house. I'm assuming the answer is yes, but do you enjoy the physical part of the role, and have you ever gotten hurt on the set?
I love the physical part of the role. I mean, I came from I loved my time on Disney, but there was definitely so many like tiny little stunts that they wouldn't let me do because they couldn't afford, me getting hurt at all. So getting to do like absolutely nothing on a show to getting to do absolutely everything I could do was awesome. Like we train as much as we can so that we can do as much as we can on camera, because it looks so much better when, let's say I have to take a fall. My character has to take a fall. If the stunt double does it, he has to be hiding his face the whole time, and he has to contort a certain way so that his face is hidden. But if I do it, you get to see me falling the whole time, taking hits and stuff. So I think it looks so much better. So as an actor, like I want to be able to do as much as I can. And I have gotten hurt on set, but it was never doing stunts. It was always like when Sholo and I were messing around. Like we play a lot of like 2 for flinching, if you like make someone flinch pretending to punch them, and I would make him flinch all the time, because he's a little skitty. And usually I wouldn't. And so one day we're just like walking through, it was actually in season 2, one of our very first scenes when we're walking into the Cobra Kai dojo, and I make Chris and Mitch flinch, and we like walk past them. Sholo, right when we walked into that doorway, he spun around like this, boom, and threw a back fist as fast as he could, because I was behind him, and he thought it was going to, go in front of my face and I was going to flinch. But he didn't know how close I was behind him, and he spun around, just bang, just clocked me right in the face. And my nose instantly started bleeding, and he was like, "Brother, I'm sorry." I was like freaking out. He thought I was going to punch him back. But I walked out, and I covered for him. I was like, "Oh man, it's so dry out here. My nose started bleeding. Oh no," because no one saw it. But that's probably one of the only times I've ever been hurt. Other than, I've punched Tanner a couple times, but those were his fault. He was supposed to block those.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got to lend your voice to characters as well in Paranorman, Rise of the Guardians, The Legend of Korra, and the video game version of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
What do you like most and least about voiceovers?
I love the medium of animation a lot. I think that's something that really like drives me to, want to pursue voiceovers, because I watch a lot of anime. I love animated stuff. Gosh, one of my favorite things. I think I can play characters that I probably like wouldn't normally be able to play in a live action, like I can go play a 12-year-old in something, like I just did a scripted podcast called Black Box where I played a 12-year-old kid. And that's not something I would be able to do in live action. I'm trying to think of any. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any. Yeah, I guess that's true. Technology could age me down, but I'm trying to think of any cons. But I don't know. I really like
long hours.
Not even like, usually we can bang stuff out pretty quick, and it's very collaborative. Like a lot of the things I've worked on, I'll read the script and, in the moment, if I want to improv or like add some ad libs or change something, like usually they're very, very open to that. And, you can show up wearing a hoodie. You don't really have to dress up for anything. There's no hair and makeup. They always have great food. I don't know. VO's kind of the shit, not gonna lie. I kind of love doing voiceover.
We had talked about this a little bit before we started, but I see that you are on the comic convention circuit now. Do you have a favorite fan experience?
Oh, a favorite fan experience. Actually, just recently, a fan gave me this bracelet that I really like. She made me a bracelet. Cool. Yeah, she was nice. It was this. She was like 8 years old, little girl. I was like, "Oh, thank you," and I actually ended up really liking it, so I've still worn it. She gave it to me in Calgary.
Did she recognize you from Cobra Kai, or did she recognize you from your work on Disney and Nickelodeon?
I think it was Kirby Buckets, actually. I think it was a Disney XD show that I was on that she actually recognized me from. She was a little bit younger. I don't know if her parents had quite let her into the realms of Cobra Kai. I can't quite remember. Maybe she hadn't.
Yeah. Goals, aspirations. Where is Jacob 5 years from now?
Oh, wow. 5 years from now. I would love to be directing. I'd love to be directing something maybe I've written. I'd love to make something with Sholo or my friend Cooper. I have a bunch of friends at who are in the USC film program that I hang out with a lot, and we always try to write stuff. So I think that'd be really fun to collab with some of my friends and get behind the camera a little bit. I don't know, just keep acting, keep doing voiceover. I don't know.
Speaking
I'd
of
say that.
collaborations, what musicians inspire you, and where would you like to go with your music? Most importantly, will there be a Sex Panther album?
Oh shit! I hope there's a Sex Panther album. That would be awesome. Who inspires me the most? I think one of my all-time favorite bands is Pearl Jam. I love Eddie Vedder. I think he's one of like just my favorite writers ever, or songwriters ever. I really like Catfish and the Bottlemen. They're kind of like a new indie alt band. I guess I wouldn't call them indie, actually. They're kind of just like alternative. They're really cool. I really like the Rolling Stones. I love Led Zeppelin. I grew up on my mom and dad's music, so kind of just like older classic rock stuff. Love the Who, love the Kinks.
Did your dad do the same thing with music that he did with movies and said, you have to listen to these albums to become a man?
You know what's funny? It wasn't even an option. That's just like, it's just all there was, like we didn't listen to anything else, like, and I mean, I will say though, it's given me a lot of great rock and roll memories, and I feel like I have a pretty good taste in music, but I have absolutely no knowledge of my current generation's music. Like if you could play me like the list of like the top 100 songs, I would maybe know half of them. I really, I am quite out of the loop when it comes to the new stuff. So I feel like I'm
classically trained.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like an old man where I'm like, who is this? What is that? Doja Frat? I don't understand, so.
That's right.
Yeah.
On a serious note, what can you tell us about Smile Train and your involvement with the charity?
Oh, yeah. Smile Train is awesome. I actually just went down to Mexico and got to visit one of their clinics that they have, that they're helping operate down there. We got to hang out with all the kids that were there, and they actually had a karate school within Smile Train that they do to sort of like help build confidence and like sort of have like an after school activity. But Smile Train is an organization. They help empower local hospitals to do cleft lip and cleft palate surgeries all across the world. And, there's a lot of charities and corporations that will help out with cleft palate surgeries and cleft lip surgeries like throughout the world, because it's crazy like how many kids are born with cleft every minute or even just every day. But what they really focus on is they try to educate doctors and like put people in place in the communities that are there to stay and help build like relations with the hospitals so that they can have like a continual comprehensive care. Like they help with their meal plans afterwards. They help with speech therapy. They help with like just mental awareness over have like being cleft affected. And, they came to my agency during the pandemic. We're like, hey, like we would love to partner with Jacob, due to his, character and, him being cleft affected on the show. And, they were kind of like the number one people that are spearheading this movement. And I was like, heck yeah, like this is awesome. They've been just so great. And I've had a blast, getting to just work with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're doing really awesome stuff. Like they're super, super cool.
How can our listeners support them?
Yeah, I mean, you can just go on smiletrain.com. Monetary donations help so much. And honestly, just like spreading the word, like I think a big thing about being cleft affected is like there is a huge stigma about it. In reality, it affects so many people worldwide. I think that's a huge portion about it. Like before I hopped on to be, I think I'm a celebrity youth ambassador is my title. But before I hopped on as an ambassador, I was like, hey, like, could I get a sort of rundown on, so I'm more knowledgeable about being cleft affected and, because I didn't want to like hop on to Zooms or whatever and be talking about it and not have any clue, what I'm talking about. But they have like facts and like things you can read and videos you can watch that really lay out and you can like get educated on like how it feels to be cleft affected and, get to speak with people who are cleft affected. And I think that's something that's really powerful.
That's fantastic. Cobra Kai season 5, shifting gears, is coming up. Is there
September
anything?
9th.
Yeah. Is there anything you can tease us about the season and what's in store for Eli without spoilers, without Netflix snipers taking you out?
I take my shirt off this season.
There you go.
I can say that. I can say I get in a fight. I get in at least one fight. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's anything I can spoil too much. I can say the kids are so aggressive this season. Like, there's a lot of anger from like a couple kids very specifically that everyone's like, whoa, okay, like we're
Powder
gonna,
keg.
all right, we gotta like contain this. There's some unlikely duos, I would say. There's some unlikely partnerships, I will say.
That's good.
I got to film scenes with people that I'd never really filmed with before. So that was very fun.
Jacob, it's been so much fun. Thank you for joining us.
Dude,
we'll all be watching on September 9th as season 5 of Cobra Kai releases on Netflix. Best of luck with the series and everything you do.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good talking to you.
If you haven't seen Cobra Kai on Netflix, you truly are missing out on all the fun. It's one of the best series around as an update to all those classic Karate Kid films. Check out the films and then segue into the series. Jacob is amazing. 1 minute you're hating him, the next you're loving him. Great character development and a great performance. You can also check out Jacob in Marvin on Amazon Prime. Full episodes of Kirby Buckets streaming right now on Disney+.